The first time I passed the old stone well, the wind stopped. Birds went silent. And a man I'd never met grabbed my wrist and said, "Don't look into it. You won't like what looks back." I should have listened. My name is Chloe Mercer. I'm 25, a freelance photographer who specializes in abandoned architecture and off-grid places. When I found a listing for a month-long artist residency in the remote mountain town of Darnley Hollow, I applied on a whim. A paycheck and a rustic cabin in the Appalachians. Sounded like a dream. Darnley Hollow was strange. Hidden in a steep valley, surrounded by thick, ancient woods. Population, maybe 100, mostly older folks. No cell signal. No internet. The kind of place that looked trapped in time. The townspeople were polite but distant. They kept looking over their shoulders when I walked past. Even the air felt heavy, like something unseen pressing on my chest. On my second day, I took my camera into the woods and stumbled upon it. The well. It sat in a small clearing, ringed by moss-covered stones and tangled branches. Built from uneven gray rock, it had no cover. The stones were wet despite the dry weather. And carved into the rim were symbols, faint, but deliberate. I peered over the edge. It was darker than it should have been. Deeper than any well I'd seen. That's when the whispering started. Faint. Slow. My name. I jumped back, breath caught in my throat. Behind me stood an old man in a patched coat. "Don't listen," he said. "It knows how to lie." Back at the cabin, I reviewed my camera footage. The well was there. But something was off. The images shimmered slightly, like the edges were fraying. And the audio? Garbled whispers. Not just saying my name, but fragments of my past. "You left her. It's your fault." I tried to shake it off. Blamed it on stress. Maybe some weird acoustics. Over the next few days, I returned. I told myself it was for the art. The atmosphere. But really, I couldn't stop thinking about it. The townsfolk started avoiding me. A woman at the general store slipped me a piece of paper with a single word, "Run." But I didn't. I started dreaming of the well. Falling into it. Voices chanting. My mother screaming, though she died years ago. Each morning, I woke with dirt under my nails and the taste of iron in my mouth. The well had taken root in me. I began drawing the symbols obsessively. On napkins. On the cabin walls. On my own skin. One night, I woke standing at the well's edge, barefoot in the frost. I confronted the old man from the woods. His name was Elias. He lived on the edge of town, in a house filled with books, bones, and bottles of dark liquid. He told me the story. That well ain't just a hole in the ground. It's a hole in the world. They sealed it 100 years ago. With names. With blood. It feeds on memory, on guilt. Looks like what you're afraid of, and sounds like who you miss most. I asked why it was still open. His hands trembled. Because someone broke the seal last fall. A hunter. Went missing. Since then, it's been calling louder. He gave me a journal. Bound in leather, written in a shaky hand. It belonged to his grandfather, the last person to seal the well. The pages described rituals, chants, offerings. The final entry, if it learns your name, it can follow you anywhere. I asked if I could stop it. He looked at me, eyes full of sorrow. Maybe. If you're willing to give it something precious. I returned to the well with the journal, a rope, and a desperate need for answers. The well seemed to pulse as I approached, the air colder, heavier. I climbed down. The walls closed in quickly. Roots jutted out, some carved with faces. Others with names, including mine. At the bottom was a narrow tunnel. I crawled through sludge, into a chamber lit by no source. In the center, a stone altar and a mirror made of still, black water. I saw her. My mother. She looked just as she had before the accident. Smiling. Crying. You weren't there when I died. Then my father. You forgot me. Then a girl I barely remembered. Lydia. My childhood friend. Drowned when we were 9. You let me go. The voices overwhelmed me, pulling guilt from every corner of my mind. The well knew my regrets better than I did. Then came the offer. A voice not mine, not theirs. Deep. Ancient. Give us someone else. Trade a soul. A name. Walk free. I screamed. Refused. Clutched the journal and recited the seal's chant. The ground shook. The chamber howled. The mirror cracked. The faces vanished. I woke in the forest, alone, the journal burned to ash. I left Darnley Hollow the next day. Didn't speak to anyone. Didn't look back. But the whispering didn't stop. Some nights, I wake with dirt in my mouth. Shadows on my wall move wrong. My name echoes when I try to sleep. A week ago, I found a symbol etched into my apartment's mirror. The well may be sealed. But it remembers. And now it knows where I live. Months later, a new artist is selected for the residency. She reads about the well in Chloe's old blog. Thinks it's a hoax. Or a story. She finds the clearing. Takes a photo. Peers inside. The wind dies. The birds go silent. And a whisper rises.